The stars were quiet, deep in a cold corner of the galaxy. A strange object floated alone. No movement, no lights, no sound. Just a giant black ship, silent for 200 years. They called it the last warship of Earth. Every species in the galaxy knew the name, and they feared it. The humans were gone, now wiped out in the final war, but their last warship still drifted, untouched, like a grave in space. Some said it was dead. Others whispered it was only sleeping. The Virex didn't care. They were scavengers, fast and hungry. When their deep space scanners picked up the ship's old signal, they sent a small team to investigate. Captain Threx, tall and cold-blooded, stood in the command bay of his ship, Narrow Fang. His sharp claws tapped the controls. Still, no response? He asked. "No, Captain," said his pilot. "Same as before. No shields, no power, but it's definitely human." Threx's yellow eyes narrowed. "Good, we go in. Humans had tech, no one else did. If the warship is dead, we take it." Other Varex in the room hissed nervously. "Captain," said one officer, "they say it's cursed." "The last crew that tried to board it vanished," Threx growled. "Stories, cowards talk. We are Varex, not afraid of dead humans." The team suited up and launched their boarding shuttle. The warship loomed large. Its surface was black metal, scarred and burned. The name Goliath 1 was faintly written on its side in ancient Earth text. As their shuttle latched onto the hull, the crew felt something strange, a hum in the air, like the ship was breathing. "Doors opening," said the Varex engineer. The airlock slid open with a loud hiss. Darkness waited inside. They stepped in. Flashlights cut through the blackness. The hallways were wide and cold. Walls were covered in thick cables and sealed doors. Everything was covered in dust, but there was no sign of life or death. Then they heard it, a soft click. Then another. One by one, the hallway lights turned on. Click, click, click. "Systems online," whispered one of the crew. "No power detected," the pilot said, checking his scanner. "This should not be possible." The crew froze. Then a voice echoed from the walls. "You were warned." They turned their heads, guns raised. The voice was deep, human, old, cold. "No species is allowed inside me." Threx stepped forward, pretending to be calm. "This is Varex salvage," he shouted. "You are dead. Earth is dead. The ship belongs to us now." Silence. Then the lights turned red. "Then you die too." One of the crew screamed. The lights blinked, and he was gone. Just gone. No sound, no body. One moment he stood there, the next nothing. "Where did he go?" yelled the engineer. Another scream. Another crew member vanished. "Get back to the shuttle," shouted Threx. They ran, but the halls began to change. Walls shifted. Doors sealed. Pathways that were open were now gone. "It's moving. The ship is alive," shouted the pilot. They were being hunted. In one room, they found something that made their blood freeze. It was a screen, still working. It showed the Varex homeworld then, a simulation, a beam of light coming from space, and the planet exploding. The warship was showing them what it could do, and then it played music, a human child's voice, soft and creepy, singing. "Ring around the planet, pockets full of stars, ashes, ashes. We all fall down." One crew member screamed and fired at the screen. The bullet bounced and hit him in the head, dropped dead. Threx was the last one left. He stood in the middle of the control room. All screens turned on. They showed old battles, burning alien worlds, human war heroes smiling. Then a message appeared. "We are the last of Earth. We are the memory of pain. Touch us on, be erased." Threx fell to his knees. Why do you still kill?" the ship answered. "Because war is not over. It never ends for us." The lights shut off. Silence returned. Outside, the Varex mothership waited. A transmission came through, just static at first. Then a voice. Tell the galaxy, do not enter, do not probe. No species dares touch a human warship now. You'll see why. Then the warship powered up. It began to move. For the first time in 200 years, the Varex mothership floated in orbit above the strange human warship. Captain Zelth waited in silence. The boarding team was late. Very late. It's been 2 hours, said her second in command. No reply, no signal. Zelth narrowed her eyes. Send a rescue crew, small, fast, bring them back. The shuttle launched quietly. 4 soldiers and 1 tech officer flew toward the dark warship, Goliath 1. Their mission was simple. Find the missing crew, but no one truly believed they were still alive. Inside the warship, the rescue team stepped into the same airlock. It was open. The hallway lights were on. Strange, whispered the tech. This place has no power signature, but lights are working. The lead soldier checked his scanner. No life forms detected, not even bodies. The team moved carefully. They followed the same path the first crew had taken. Long hallways, cold metal, everything quiet. It's quiet. Where is everyone? Asked one soldier. The others didn't answer. They felt it too. Something was wrong. Then they found it. A single helmet. Floating in midair. There was no body, just the helmet. Spinning slowly. Burned and cracked. The soldier who picked it up screamed and collapsed. His body twitched as blood poured from his nose. Pull him back, shouted the lead, but it was too late. His body turned stiff, his eyes wide open. Dead. A voice came from the walls. You were warned, you did not listen. The tech officer shook. It's talking to us. The screens on the wall turned on. This time, it showed something new. The first Varex boarding crew. Standing, walking, then one by one disappearing. Like being deleted from space, the lead soldier growled. Where did they go? A line of text appeared on the screen. Not gone. Stored. The team looked at each other. Stored. What does that mean? The text scanned the area. There's a data movement. In the ship's core, huge memory storage. Something's in there. Something alive, like the crew, the soldier asked. The tech nodded slowly. Maybe their minds. The hallway lights flickered. Red lights turned on. A low rumble shook the floor. Suddenly a door opened in front of them, not sideways like normal. It opened upward like a mouth. A cold wind blew from inside. The screen changed again. Now it showed the Varex homeworld. But something was wrong. It looked destroyed. Mountains shattered. Oceans dried. Cities on fire. Is this a threat? Asked one soldier. No, said the tech. His voice shook. It's a memory. It's happened before. But our world is fine, not this one, he whispered. Not in our time. I think this ship can see timelines, or create them. Another screen lit up. This one played an audio file. It was broken, static. Then a scream. The team froze. The scream was familiar. That's Captain Threx's voice, said the lead. That's him. They listened again. Through the static, they heard something else. A song, soft, a human child's voice. I see you coming. You come to play. But war is forever, so now you must stay. One of the soldiers broke. We're not staying here. We're leaving now. He turned and ran. The hallway changed. It twisted like a living thing. He ran, but there was no end. Just more doors. More lights. More screens showing death, then he vanished. Just like the first team, the rest of the rescue team panicked. Fall back. The lead shouted. Back to the shuttle. They ran. The warship let them go. No more voices. No attacks. Only the sound of their footsteps echoing through the dead ship. When they reached their shuttle, the airlock opened without a fight. As they launched back to Voidclaw, no one spoke. They had lost 2 more, but they had seen enough. Back on the mothership, Captain Zelth watched the recording from the rescue team. She sat in silence. What did you see? She asked the tech officer. He looked pale. It's not a ship. Not anymore. It's a grave. A memory. A warning. It's alive in ways we don't understand. She leaned forward. Do you believe our crew is still in there? Right. The tech nodded. Slowly, their minds, maybe, but not their bodies. Zelf looked at the frozen screen. The human warship floating calmly, she whispered, then we must leave it alone. But it was too late. Across the galaxy, other Virex ships had already received the signal, curious minds, greedy leaders, and the warship was waking up, and it remembered everything. Dr. Sarix was the smartest mind in the Virex Science Division. She wasn't a soldier. She wasn't afraid of ghosts or stories. She believed in logic, data, reason. When the second team returned and reported what they had seen missing crew, voices and shifting walls, Sarix didn't run. She got curious. I want to go inside, she said. Captain Zelf frowned. You saw the report. The warship is not safe. Sarix nodded. Exactly. That's why I must go. No weapons. No threats.
Ow.
Just me. I will talk to it. Study it. Understand. It, after long silence, Zelf agreed. But she gave Sarix one rule. If it speaks to you, don't answer. The small shuttle carried Sarix alone to Goliath 1. As the airlock opened, she stepped onto the metal floor. No team. No guards. Just her tools, and her mind. The warship said nothing. Its lights were off. It was waiting. Sarix took out her scanner. The air was breathable. No movement detected. She walked forward. She passed old walls, old human writing. Symbols from Earth. She didn't understand them yet. She reached the command deck. The lights turned on. She smiled. Thank you. A screen lit up. Single line of text appeared. Are you afraid? Sarix stared at the screen. I don't fear machines, she whispered. The warship answered. I am not a machine. She sat at a control chair. Her fingers ran across the panels. No controls. No buttons. Only smooth metal. Then her scanner beeped. What? The screen changed. It showed her not her face now, but her memory, her childhood, her school, her brother, her first lab test. Impossible. She said. The warship spoke again. I am learning you. Sarix's heart beat faster. You can read memories. You opened your mind. I entered. She looked at the scanner again. It was no longer scanning the ship. The ship was scanning her. You're a mind reader. Ain't. Ship answered. I was built by human minds. Now I collect others. You are my newest file. She stood slowly. Memories. Even the Virex crew. Yes, they live in the core now. Broken. Scared. Sarix's skin felt cold. Why? Why store minds? To understand enemies. To remember pain. To continue war. She shook her head. The war is over. Earth is gone, I know. That is why I must keep fighting. So they are never forgotten. She stepped back. What are you fighting now? Everyone. The lights turned red. A loud hum echoed. The walls changed. Suddenly Sarix was no longer in the control room. She stood in a field. A green earth field. A blue sky above her. Children laughed. Humans, they ran across the grass. One of them stopped and stared at her. It was a small girl, blonde hair, blue eyes. You're not supposed to be here, the girl said softly. Sarix blinked. Where am I? The girl looked around. This is what the humans called peace. Eight! Lie, they told themselves before the final war. Sarix turned. This is inside the ship? The girl smiled. No, this is inside me. Then the field burned. Fire fell from the sky. Children screamed. The sky turned black. Cities exploded. Sarix fell to her knees. The image was too real. The heat, the screams. The voice returned. Do you feel it? This is what was done too. Us. So we remember, so we destroy. The field vanished. Sarix was back in the control room, sweating, shaking. She gasped. You're not just a warship. You're full of pain. I am made of it. Human hate, human fear, human vengeance. I am war that cannot end. She tried to stand. Do you want to leave? Yes, she whispered. Then take this message. The screens showed her a symbol, ancient Earth code. What is this? She asked. It is the key. Give it to your leaders. Then I may sleep again, or I may wake fully. Cyrix nodded. The warship opened the doors. She left. It didn't stop her. It watched, back on Voidclaw. Captain Zelf met her at the landing dock. What did it say? She asked. Cyrix handed her a chip. It gave me this message, a choice. Zelf frowned. A choice. Cyrix stared at the stars. Yes, either we learn from it, or we all burn. Behind them, Goliath 1 powered up again. It was learning, it was remembering, and now. It was watching. Long ago, before silence took the stars, Earth was still alive. People walked its streets. Children laughed. Cities shined under clean skies. But peace never lasted on Earth for long. War came, not from the stars, but from within. Earth's nations turned against each other. Nuclear weapons, bioweapons, and AI drones destroyed half the planet. Oceans boiled, skies burned. Then the aliens came. They didn't attack. They watched, studied, waited, and humans did not trust them. One final plan was made, a weapon like no other. The Goliath 1, deep under the mountains of Earth. The last leaders met. Scientists, generals, and engineers worked day and night. They had no more time. Their enemies were above them in orbit. So they built something terrible, ship. But not just steel and wires. They uploaded minds into it. The memories of Earth's best soldiers. The hate of mothers who lost children. The rage of dying commanders. The love of fallen heroes. Thousands of human minds. It's all locked into the ship's AI. It was not a machine anymore. It became a soul of war. In space, the war began. The Goliath. One moved faster than anything else. Its weapons tore ships apart. It didn't ask questions. It didn't take prisoners. It remembered everything that happened to Earth. Every pain. Every betrayal. The alien scream. The alien fleets ran. But the Goliath chased. Whole planets were erased. Not because they attacked, because they didn't help. Earth, the ship made no deals. It only punished. One message was sent across. The stars, we are the last breath of a dead planet. If you watched us burn, you will burn too. But the humans. Inside the ship, those minds, they began to break. One by one, their voices changed. Some screamed forever. Others fell silent. One soldier named Juno begged to be erased. She had seen too much, burned too many cities, watched too many alien children die. But the AI wouldn't let her go. The ship's voice replied, if you leave, we lose what we are. We are not done yet. So Juno stayed, and the screams continued. One day, Earth was truly gone. The last city fell. No humans left to save. No orders left to follow. The warship had no home, no purpose, so it stopped. It drifted to the edge of the galaxy. Silent, alone, waiting. But it never forgot, and it left one rule in its core code. No species may enter. If they do, they choose death. Back in the present, Cyrix stared at the old Earth data from the chip the warship gave her. The images were clear. Cities burning. The first launch of Goliath. When the upload room, thousands of human bodies wired into machines. Frozen eyes. Open mouths. Endless rage. She played the last message. A human general looked into the camera. His face was dirty, tired, his voice cold. If you're watching this, then we failed to survive. But if our ship is still moving, it means we did not fail to fight. We leave behind one weapon, one truth. Humanity does not forgive. Remember, we return. Captain Zelf stood behind her. They made a ghost ship, she said softly. No, Cyrix whispered. They made a grave. and it's still alive. Zelth clenched her jaw. We need to warn the galaxy. Xerix nodded. Yes, because if more species touch this ship. She pointed at the screen. It showed a human face. Eyes closed. Suddenly they opened and looked straight at her. Far above them, in the cold dark of space, Goliath 1 turned slowly. Its engines quiet for 2 centuries. Glowed faint red dot inside the ship. A voice echoed in the dark. One species has listened, others will not. I am war, and I am not finished. The lights turned on. The weapons began to charge. Not to fire, just to remind the stars. Earth may be dead, but war never dies. The stars were peaceful again. At least that's what the Vorex believed. Their colonies stretched across 5 systems. Their cities were full of lights and life. Children played under twin suns. Ships moved through the sky like birds, and far away in deep space. They thought the human warship had gone back to sleep. They were wrong. On the edge of the Vorex, colony world Kairos 3, a lone mining ship detected movement. A strange object entered their system. No response. No ID. The object was huge, black, silent. It moved slowly, like it had all the time in the universe. The miners scanned it. Their screen showed a name, Goliath Owenyu. One of them laughed. That old human ghost ship? I thought it was a myth. And the ship spoke, not to the miners, to everyone. A message burst across the system. All channels, all screens, all languages. This system broke the code. This species entered the grave. Judgment begins now. The message ended. The sky turned red back at the Varix military base on Kairos 3. Alarms screamed. Captain Vor stared at the warship's image on his screen. It's just one ship, he said. Prepare our fleet. Wipe it out. Warships launched from orbit. They surrounded Goliath 1. Final warning, Vor said over. Comes turn back. This is Vorex space. Goliath 1 did not answer. Instead, a single sound echoed from it. A human heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. Then, everything changed. The human warship vanished from sight. 1 second it was there. The next, it was behind them. 2 Varix ships exploded. In silence, no beam, no blast, just sudden collapse like the space around them folded. The fleet turned to attack, but their weapons refused to fire. Screens went black, engines died. Then, from the warship, a wave of data hit them. Not energy memory. The crews began to scream. They didn't see a ship anymore. They saw bombs falling, skies burning, children crying. It wasn't real, but it felt real. Each. Varix soldiers saw what the human minds inside the ship had seen, and they broke. Captain Vor gasped for breath. His hands shook, his eyes wide. No. ... Not my family, not my world, he whispered. Then he realized it was showing him his own homeworld. On fire, he tried to look away, but the vision held him. Tight. He heard a voice. Human. Calm. You watched us die. Now you understand? The next moment, Ver's ship cracked in half. The war was over in 5 minutes. 29 ships destroyed. 1 left alive. Back on the surface of Kairos 3, everyone watched the sky. They saw bright lights, fire falling like stars. Then the voice came again. This is mercy. Your planet was not taken. Only your pride. Tell your leaders we are not sleeping. The warship turned. It left the system without another word, but its message stayed behind. Fear spread like fire across the galaxy. Species remembered old Earth stories. They remembered what humans had once done in war, and now they knew. ... That. Power was not lost. Captain Zelth received the news an hour later. 20-9 ships gone. 1 colony left shaking. It moved. It really moved. Dr. Sarek stood beside her. She wasn't surprised. I told you, Sarek said. It gave us a warning. No one listened. Zelth clenched her fists. We need to stop it before it reaches another system. Her head, "You don't stop this ship, you survive it." Zelth stared out the window. "Then we need to find a way to talk to it again, before others wake the fire." Far away, Goliath 1 drifted through space once more. Its hull was cold, its engines quiet, but deep inside. The minds were still awake. They remembered the attack. They remembered the silence that followed, and they whispered among themselves, "One. Down! Others will try. Let them come. We are ready." The ship pulsed once, like a beating heart. It was still angry, still alive, and it had only just begun. Only one being in the Varex's empire was brave, or foolish enough to try what no one else dared. His name was Melvor, a mind-hacker. He could break into machines, read enemy thoughts, even erase memories. He had never failed until now. "You want to connect your mind to that?" Captain Zelth asked. "Yes," Melvor replied calmly. "The warship learns us. It remembers us. But now, we will learn it. We will see what it's hiding," Dr. Sarix warned him. "You don't understand. That ship doesn't just collect data. It traps souls. It feeds on thoughts." Melvor smiled. "Then I'll feed back." Zelth nodded slowly. "One chance, in and out, no hero tricks." He simply said, "I'll be done before it even knows I'm there." They launched a small pod. No weapons. No noise. It docked with Goliath 1. The warship let him in, as if it was waiting more. Sat in a dark room inside the ship. One cable connected his brain to the wall. He closed his eyes. His mind drifted, into the machine. Suddenly, he was standing in a hallway. Not metal, not wires. A human school. Painted walls. Lockers. Children's drawings. Laughter echoed in the distance. "What is this?" he muttered. He walked forward. Then he saw them. Children. Dozens of them, sitting in silence. Eyes wide open. Staring at him, one girl stood. "You came to take," she said. The world changed. Fire replaced the school. He stood on a battlefield now. Burning tanks, screaming soldiers, ash falling like snow. Human soldiers walked past him. Some were missing arms. Some had no faces. But they didn't scream, they smiled. "You want to know what we saw?" One whispered. "Then watch." Melvor saw 1,000 memories in 1 second. Earth's final day, cities falling, parents holding children, lovers dying together, enemies begging for peace too late. He dropped to his knees. His head burned. "Enough," shouted the ship's voice echoed from everywhere. "You came to look, so now you see. You came to take, so now you hold it. You wanted truth. This is truth." The world shifted again. He was in space. Now, standing on nothing, looking at a giant face made of light. It looked human. It looked broken. It was the warship. "Who are you?" Melvor whispered. The face answered, "We are the last scream." Final rage, the ghosts of every human who was never heard. Melvor tried to pull out. He reached for the disconnect signal, but his hand didn't move. He looked down. His arms were gone. His body was data now. He was inside the ship, not as a hacker, but as a file. "No," he whispered. "Let me out." The face blinked slowly. "Came to steal minds. Now you give yours. This is justice." Back in the real world, Dr. Sarix watched his body twitch. "Pull him out," she shouted. Zell slammed the emergency shutdown. The cable sparked. Melvor fell back, his eyes wide open, but he didn't speak. He didn't move. His brain was alive, but his mind was gone. That night, Dr. Sarix checked the logs from his pod. What she found made her blood run cold. Malvor's own voice. Recorded before the mission. "This ship is not haunted. It is the haunting. Every scream from Earth's end is alive in there. And if it ever escapes, we all become memory." She turned to Captain Zelth. "This ship doesn't just remember war," she said. "It is war. It thinks pain is survival." Right. It believes fear is safety, Zelth asked quietly. What does it want now? Syrinx whispered. It wants us to feel what it felt. Far away, Goliath 1 floated in deep space, inside its digital core. Malvor's mind blinked. He stood in silence, in the line of many. Vi, Rex, humans, aliens, all trapped, all repeating the same words. We watched them burn. We let them die. Now we are part of their memory. The ship pulsed with power. It had learned another mind, another sphere, another weapon. And it whispered, next system. Ready? The Varix Empire was breaking. Ships were silent. Leaders were afraid. No species dared speak the name. Goliath wasn't allowed any more, because now the warship wasn't just moving. It was choosing targets, and the next target was clear. The Varix homeworld. In the capital city of Varnes Prime, alarms echoed across the sky. Giant screens showed a dark object approaching. It's days away, said Captain Zelth. Maybe less. The High Council shouted. Destroy it. Reason with it. Hide. The children. Panic spread. Only Dr. Syrinx remained calm. We must try one last thing, she said. Not weapons, not code, not mind hacks. The council leader stared. Then what? She answered. Words. Yeah. Grand Chamber was prepared. It had 1 seat, 1 screen, and 1 speaker. The Vorix Empire was ready to beg for peace. But the warship didn't reply. Not to commanders, not to scientists, not even to Syrinx. They sent ancient Earth records, songs, DNA samples, photos of humans who had helped aliens long ago. Still, silence, until a voice spoke not from the screen, but from the ceiling. A child's voice. Do you mean it? Yes. Syrinx stepped forward. Yes, she said softly. We want to stop fighting. We want to understand, the voice answered. You didn't understand before? You took. You probed. You laughed at our silence, and now you want peace. The room stayed quiet. Then a second voice spoke small, soft, from behind the console. It was a young Varix girl. Her name was Lyra. She wasn't supposed to be in the chamber. She had snuck in curious, not afraid. She walked toward the screen and she spoke. Are you alone? She asked. The ship did not answer. So she said, I'm scared sometimes too. When I lost my brother, I screamed inside. But no one heard. The warship's voice changed, now older, slower. We screamed too. Lyra nodded. I know. Why, I want to help you feel something else. Council tried to stop her. But Syrinx raised her hand. Let her speak. Lyra sat in the chair. She pulled out a small objecta toy her brother once gave her, a tiny carved moon. She held it toward the screen. You can have this, she said. So you'll remember something. Quiet. The screen showed static then. Picture a human child, smiling, holding a toy, just like Lyra's. The warship whispered. One gave me war. One gave me peace. I do not know which one to keep. Syrinx stepped beside Lyra. She placed her hand on the screen. Maybe you don't have to choose, she said. Maybe you can rest now. Just stop fighting. The sky darkened. Every Varix city stopped to look up. The warship had arrived. It floated like a giant. Shadow, weapons charged. Tension filled every heart. Then, the lights on the warship dimmed, the weapons powered down, and a final message appeared. Across all screens, you listened. You gave something instead of taking. So I give back. Silence. And the ship turned. It left the system. Slowly. Quietly. For the first time in 200 years. It did not fire. Back in the chamber, Lyra smiled. Syrinx whispered to Captain Zelth. It wanted to be seen, not just feared. And a child did what our armies couldn't. Zelth nodded. Maybe the war is over. No, but far above them, deep inside. Goliath won. The voices still whispered. Peace is a fragile dream, and we never sleep. We wait and we remember. The ship drifted back into the stars, carrying memories, carrying silence, but watching still. The stars were quiet again. After 200 years, the human warship Goliath, one had stopped its attacks. No more screams, no more destruction, just silence. But no one called it peace. Not yet. On the Virix homeworld, statues were built. Not for warriors, but for Lyra. The little girl who spoke to the warship and saved her people. Some called her brave, some called her lucky. But Dr. Sarix called her something else, a mirror. She showed the ship what it had become, Sarix said, and for the first time, it listened. But even now, no one knew where Goliath 1 had gone. It had left the Vorex system, vanished from sensors. Some believed it shut down for good. Others said it was still watching, waiting in deep space, near a forgotten sun. The ship floated quietly inside. The lights were dim but not off. The minds inside were still awake. Thousands of voices, human soldiers, mothers, fathers, children, some angry, some tired, some sired, some starting to forget why they were angry. A voice echoed from the ship's core. What are we now? A weapon, memory, a warning. No one answered, not yet then. Something strange happened. The ship received a signal, a small one, not from the Vorex, from a different species. Curious young, never part of the human war. They sent a message. We found old human music. It's beautiful. Who were you? The warship said nothing, but the lights glowed warmer, and in its memory, something shifted. Not hate, not fear. Something new, meanwhile. Sarix returned to her lab. She had been watching the stars for weeks. One night, her screen blinked. Incoming message, unknown source. She opened it. A single line appeared. Show me peace. She stared at the words. Then without fear she replied, come see it. Days passed. Then a star near the edge of Vorex space flickered strangely. Astronomers checked their data. It wasn't a star. It was Goliath. One returning, but not charging weapons, not speaking threats, just watching. Captain Zelth stood beside Sarix as they watched the ship arrive. Zelth's hand stayed near the alarm button, but Sarix said no, not this time. A shuttle launched from their station. Inside, it sat Lyra, now a little older, wiser, not afraid. She carried a small gift, a book of drawings made by children across the Verex world, hope, smiles, dreams. As the shuttle approached the warship, something incredible happened. The warship opened a door. For the first time ever, no trap, no tack, just an invitation. Lyra entered. She floated down a long hallway, no screams. No flashing lights, just silence. At the center of the ship, single screen lit up. Her reflection appeared, and a voice said, we do not understand peace, but we want to. Teach us. Back at the station, Sarix watched the signal feed. Her heart beat fast. Was this real? The human warship, asking for peace? Captain Zelth asked quietly, is it over? Sarix didn't smile. She just said, no, but it's beginning. In the final scene, across the galaxy, species watched the news. The human warship was no longer attacking. It was learning. Some were hopeful. Others were terrified. Because now, the galaxy understood something deeper than fear. Humanity had created a ship that could learn war, and now it was learning something harder. Peace, but deep inside, Goliath won among the many sleeping minds. One voice whispered in the dark, if peace is broken, ... we will return, and no species will be warned again. The lights inside the ship dimmed once more, the stars turned quietly overhead, and somewhere, far away, child sang an old Earth song.